All right, hey everybody, it's Professor Klein back in the human anatomy lab, but I'm joined by a special guest today. This is Lilly. Lilly is a former student in my anatomy class, and I want Lilly to introduce herself a little bit more because she's got some really good information for you guys today.
All right, guys, I'm Lilly. I'm going to be a senior at OU going into physical therapy. I'm psychology pre-physical therapy. And these are just some tips that I've developed as I've been a student here at OU. My first one would be to keep a planner. I have mine right here, and it just has like my weekly schedule as well as monthly.
Now these are your top 3 success tips. Do these and you will be more likely to succeed. Is that right?
Mm-hmm,
okay, so I'll pause you and say, write these things down as Lilly is going through them because she's been successful. She knows how to get it done, and she's sharing this information with you guys. But keep going. Sorry to interrupt. Keep going.
So we're keeping a planner, and this is perfect for writing down due dates, making sure you're not forgetting when an assignment is due, you're not missing anything, exam dates, and this is really helpful with like scheduling out when you will be studying and when you have time for that, as well as other important dates that could come in the way of you studying and making sure you're planning around that.
Should you cram before a test? Like, how far out did you as a student prepare for, let's say you have an exam on a Monday? When did you start studying for that exam if it's on a Monday?
I would say, depending on how crammed the rest of my schedule is for that week and making sure I'm getting to every exam and every assignment, I would say about a week in advance, but making sure you're getting the material down as you learn it. So as you're learning, just see if you can write down really quickly. Mr. Klein always has us write this out. Write down the blood pathway from this part of the heart to the liver. So just making sure you're doing those little spurts of studying to make sure you're on the right track.
All right, that was number 1. I love that tip. Give us your top 2, your second tip of how to be successful in anatomy.
My second tip for how to be successful in anatomy would be to write and rewrite like those lists I was talking about. Make sure you are writing down like a key to look back to for these models. I would usually watch Professor Klein's videos and then write down model as I go. Sometimes I would take screenshots of his videos to get different angles of the models compared to where they were in the study packet. So, because you never know on the exam, like this vertebrae could be positioned this way in the packet, and then on the exam it's like this, and you just got to know both sides and be able to identify that or specific landmarks. So
you're saying don't just know anatomy from the one picture that's in your textbook. You have to take it upon yourself to learn everything about that piece of a model, or we got this model over here as well. You got to know everything about it come exam time. Is that right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
It would also help to come in here, use the models during study time. Well, what is it called?
Oh no,
office
right.
hours.
Office hours.
During
okay.
office hours, that would be really helpful too, as opposed to pictures, because then you have it physical right there. You just look at it right there and say, that is the spinous process.
Talk to your professors.
Yes.
And if they don't want to talk to you, comment me. I will talk to you about anatomy anytime. But Lilly, we're on to our third top 3 tip. I don't know if these are ranked or just in any order, but they're all great. Let's just call them top 3. No specific order, but what's number 3 on your list?
I would say to develop a routine for yourself as a student. That's kind of like the baseline of being a good student in anatomy would be being a good student overall, and making sure you're figuring out where you study the best. Where are you going to learn anatomy the best? And make sure you're memorizing all those landmarks and parts of the body. And
so you're saying learn the body while you take care of your own body,
right.
so that you could study more, essentially the whole being healthy, and then being able to maximize your learning and maximize your success when you yourself are healthy as well. What are some ways that you do that?
I make sure I get at least 8 hours of sleep a night, making sure I'm not over caffeinating. I have my coffee right here, but try to keep it to 1 a day, 1 cup.
Okay.
And I would say, like, making sure you find what self-care habits work for you, helping you to decompress after an exam, after studying, taking breaks. I would always do my model. I would label it, write it down, and take a walk around. Sometimes moving around exercise helps you get your brain moving, or every once in a while I would have a Quizlet and I would be on the treadmill or just working out, and I would just quickly do a slide or two, just real quick flashcard, and just get your brain thinking at all times of the day. Or right before I would go to bed, I would just visualize it, think about it.
Yeah.
Just a lot of repetitiveness.
Okay, those are great tips. What tips do you guys have? Comment in the comments below your best anatomy and physiology tips. How do you study? How are you successful? Share them or ask for more tips, and we'll make some more videos for you guys as well. Lily, any final tips for our viewers here for anatomy and physiology?
I would just say it's real life. It's all in you. So figure out what helps you to learn about yourself, and figure out what makes it interesting to you, and how you'll apply that to your future occupation or whatever you want to do in life.
I agree. That's what makes anatomy so fascinating, is we have our own bodies and we're learning about the body as well. All right, this has been your video on the top 3 study tips from Lily, a successful student from Ohio University.
Thanks for watching.